In Module 2, we discussed the physical abuse, sexual abuse, and emotional abuse. Physical abuse is the non-accidental injury to a child. Bruises or marks on the skin in areas that typically don't bruise when a child falls, or marks in the shape of an object are always suspicious and should be reported. Burns are a product of temperature and time. A bad burn that has no reasonable explanation is suspicious. Any burns in the shape of a physical object are suspicious. Children who exhibit behavior extremes or who are wary of adult contact may be being abused or neglected. Emotional abuse is the systematic tearing down of another individual such that it damages their psychological well-being. Emotional abuse is very difficult to prove. It also is the most common type of abuse and is always present in other forms of abuse. Emotional abuse is the most psychologically harmful type of abuse as it interferes with a child's social and emotional development. Three types of emotional abuse are verbal abuse, psychological abuse, and emotional neglect. Parents who abuse drugs and alcohol almost always emotionally abuse or neglect their children because their focus is on their addiction versus their child's well-being. Many types of mental health disorders have their origin in childhood emotional abuse. Sexual abuse is the exploitation of a child for the sexual gratification of an adult or much older child. It includes the intentional touching of the child's private areas of the body for reasons other than health, safety, child care, medical care, or hygiene. One of the most psychologically damaging effects of sexual abuse, of course, is the mistrust of the close caregiving adult. Incest is child sexual abuse by a member of the child's family. Incest-prone families are often dysfunctional, have an imbalance of power, and often are emotionally or physically absent mother. When a child discloses sexual abuse, we must report it to the authorities. If you see a pattern of concern, even with no disclosure, you must document and report it. It is important to support the child and the family after disclosure is made. How families react to this disclosure can further traumatize the child. Aid the family by supporting them, educating them about sexual abuse, and connecting them to appropriate resources. And above all, keep the situation confidential by sharing information only with those professionals who need to know the situation.